Good afternoon, everyone. This is Christian with PerfectStockAlert.com, a 100% free service for smart investors and traders. All we ask in return, please refer a friend. Today is Tuesday, July 17th, 2012. I'm going to bring something to your attention here. We've been talking about this for, I'd say the last week. Basically, 4 days ago, I told you guys that I would look for a bounce here following this as an opportunity to be a buy here. If you got any bit higher on the S&P 500, I mentioned that also for the NASDAQ, the Russell 2000, the Dow Jones Industrial Average, as well as the Canada's market, the TSX. So all of that is working out like it was supposed to. But I told you, don't get married to the position because I don't trust this rally to the upside. I don't think it's strong. We're not seeing a lot of strength here. And so that's concerning for me. And I want to be watching this move to the upside, looking for the perfect point to get short. And basically considering this move to the upside as just being temporary before we actually roll back to the downside. And I'm starting to see signs here that it's getting right. Coming up real quick. So I've advanced the stop loss limit. The stop was initially down here, and I left it there for a little bit. Let us bounce around a little bit after we had this big 200-point day in the Dow Jones Industrial Average, and then kind of pulled back a little bit. We're just consolidating, and then we started advancing again today. That's fine. Now that we're advancing again, I want to take the stop loss limit. You'll notice I've moved it way up here, 1 cent below today's low, basically eliminating the risk from this trade. If she breaks down on me and starts going lower, then it's no big deal. I don't have any risk on the table. I don't care. What I do want to pay attention to right now is the high point here and this high point here, as well as the corresponding time on the ultimate oscillator from this high point here and this high point here. Here's what I'm looking at. If we get a move here in price activity that comes up higher than this one here and gives us a little uptrend kind of a signal like that, but we don't see that forming here and here, and we keep this actual downtrend move here, then this will be a bearish divergence and it's just an unsustainable move to the upside. You look for the short opportunity. When it comes along, you start to get confirmation by price activity. You get short, you exit the long position, so forth and so on, and you start to break down at that point. And that would also be coming into play at a previous high point, which again I've already talked about in the previous video, where if you were to test that high and fail at that level, you would ultimately be signaling to the rest of the markets that you're going to take out this low because you were up here, you couldn't break through, you sold off to alleviate sell pressure, you tested again, you fail. Well, you have to alleviate sell pressure, and you know you have to alleviate more sell pressure than you did before, which means you take out this previous low. We'll get to that later. Right now, the main thing is just keep an eye on this, and the reason why I'm bringing to your attention today, even though you don't have the bearish divergence forming here, is because the SPX runs the inverse of the VIX. So if the SPX or the S&P 500 is moving to the upside, possibly going to form a bearish divergence, and you would expect the VIX, which runs the inverse, to be forming a bullish divergence, and you're already seeing that. So let's have a look at the VIX. Okay, here we are looking at the VIX, the volatility index. As I've already said, the VIX runs the inverse of the S&P 500. So like you've seen the market moving to the upside, and then the S&P 500, and you've seen the VIX move lower during the same time period. However, I want to bring to your attention today's activity. Note this close here and this low close here. These guys are trending down right here. You actually got a lower close. Remember, you have to use the closes, not the low points of the candlesticks, because you're comparing it to the ultimate oscillator, which only analyzes the closing price of each day. So when we analyze this and the corresponding time frame on the ultimate oscillator, low point here, and then go up here, and you'll see a higher low point here. See, what you're forming here is the start of a bullish divergence. Basically, this is a situation where you're selling off, but in an unsustainable situation where you will sell off to a point, you will reverse, and you want to use that as a buying opportunity. We don't have a buy on this at the moment, but we are watching it, because what you want to do when you have a divergence is don't jump on it just because you had a divergence. Wait for the chart to actually begin to respond to that divergence, then get involved. Right now, we're just watching it. I want to bring it to your attention that this bullish divergence is forming here will eventually form a bearish divergence on the S&P 500. You'll see those things develop, and that's exactly the same thing I mentioned in the last video. Was this rally to the upside we're seeing in the major markets. You can use it, you can make money on it, but don't get married to it because it's not a real strong rally. It's going to end up falling apart. So we're just watching for the signs, and this is the first one I've noticed. Now I brought it to your attention. If you've not been to our free website at PerfectStockAlert.com, it's right there. It's 100% free, and all we ask in return, please refer a friend or a monkey. We will take either. God bless, take care, and I will see you in tomorrow's, tomorrow if I have something new to report video. Also, if there's anything in these videos that I have mentioned that you're not familiar with, you can go to our website. We have an entire library dedicated to technical analysis there, all the different videos showing you how to use it, as well as different methods you can use for actually trading that I use all the time. So check it out if you'd like. God bless, take care. Please take a moment to review our disclaimer. The information provided herein is our opinion only. Under no circumstances do any statements here represent a recommendation to buy or sell securities or make any kind of an investment. You are responsible for your own due diligence. To summarize, we do not provide investment advice, nor do we make any claims or promises that any information here will lead to a profit, loss, or any other result. These videos are for educational purposes only.